Hey guys, I'm Jaren. I know I've been behind on some movie reviews lately, so I got a little different format from today's video, and let's start, shall we? Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. Now, this movie isn't for everyone. If you've seen Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, you know it's something that's very action-packed and awesome and just nothing to be taken serious of. And that's what this is. It's kind of a retelling of Pride and Prejudice, and personally, I haven't seen the original, I have not read the book, but it's a whole lot of fun. You know, you're basically getting, the story you got from Pride and Prejudice. You know, the little love story of its, little time and era. There just so happens to be some bloodlusting zombies in the midst. Cinderella's Lily James was just drop dead gorgeous. I mean, ugh, she just kicks a whole lot of ass. Now, I'm reading a lot of comments here. Not all the girls really care for Sam Riley as Mr. Darcy, but hey, he did pretty good. I think the real scene stealer here is Matt Smith as Parson Collins. He was friggin' hilarious. Every time he came on screen, he just stole the whole thing. He was a little annoying, but he was really funny. It's action-packed, scary, romantic, and just thoroughly entertaining. I would have to give it a B+.
His body and blood shed for you.
The zombie apocalypse is upon us.
I've been training for this my whole life.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
Rated PG-13.
Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds is freaking genius. Now, he's been working on this film for over 11 years to do Deadpool right, along with like the right writers and the right director, and the studio was able to make that happen. And this movie is just a wonderful movie-going experience, just from beginning to end. This is not to be missed on the big screen. And everything is very meta, very self-aware, so all the references for all the geeks, the nerds, heck, you don't even need to be a fan of Deadpool, and it was very, very entertaining, very well paced. I think my only problem with the movie is that it was too short. And, some people, may disagree and just hate on this movie because maybe the villain wasn't too great, but hey, we all gotta start somewhere. That's what sequels are for. It makes fun of itself. Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, he really breaks down the fourth wall, and you as an audience get to enjoy just the action, the comedy, and the little bit of romance that he's got going for this story. Hands down, one of the best movies you're going to enjoy in theaters of 2016. It's a whole blast of fun, and it is not to be missed. A+.
I always wanted to be a professional athlete. Because I wanted to have children in cities all over the world. Incoming! See you this Friday, America.
Deadpool. Rated R. In theaters and IMAX Friday.
Celebrating its 30th anniversary is Pretty in Pink. And I finally got to watch that movie. I know. I very, very well enjoyed it. It was very charming, very funny, and it was very entertaining for its own genre. To see love on the other side of the tracks, as this reoccurring formula in today's movies, such as, She's All That or The Duff. And you really see that a movie like Pretty in Pink really sets the bar. John Cryer was one of my favorite characters, even though he was a tad bit too much, but he was great. He was very colorful, utterly amazing, and very funny. I've seen Weekend at Bernie's a few times, and I had no idea that Andrew McCarthy was such a heartthrob. Like, this is one of those movies where you just don't know who the main character is going to end up with, because they built both relationships with both guys just very well. The screening that I went to had a little special behind-the-scenes footage of how they shot the alternate ending, and I kind of disagreed if they did decide to go with the alternate ending, because it just, like, I think the filmmakers didn't see that what they were doing was just leading up to a much different result. And I think if they went with the alternate ending, I would have hated it. They made a right decision to reshoot and go with the theatrical ending. My overall grade would have to be an A.
That's thrilling.
Hey, Andy, I like you.
The Witch. All right. Like last year's Ex Machina, this movie is not for everyone. Sure, the critics are really raving about this movie, and to be honest, I wanted more. Coming from a horror movie buff, I felt like I wanted to see more, but then really respecting the story, it was very disturbing, very unsettling in some ways. I wasn't expecting to walk into Rob Zombie's Lords of Salem or anything. And I'm glad I didn't see something just over the top Hollywood, gore and just torture fest. And that's what I really respect about it, is that it stands on its own. It really builds on this like descent into madness, this cabin fever like feel with the family being core characters. You really get to focus into just the suffering of it, the dread and the horror. And sure, it's not something that's gonna leave you all super fucked up from beginning to end. No, it wasn't. It was very dramatic in a sense. It was a beautiful storytelling of folklore. And this is a horror movie that goes back to the basics, and it scared me, making me feel like a young kid, being acknowledged about these witches, the very demonic and very satanic presence that exists amongst this story. The one thing I really praise about this movie, it's not just the cinematography, it's not just the production design, but it's the fact that they use the original pilgrimage language. And sure, it's something that's going to be a little bit too hard to understand without subtitles, but I very much respect this movie because of that. The actors, they really gave it their all. The director did a really good job trying to create this whole different time era, as well as the composer. The score was just fucking creepy. It gave me goosebumps throughout the film. The writing, the directing, and the score was just almost just too perfect to even diss this movie on its tiny little mistakes. In the end, I just felt so unholingly chilled by the fact that what would have I've seen if I wanted more? What it gave me was this very dark witchcraft and phantasm that I was just so shocked of what I was exposed to already. All in all, I would have to give it a solid A.
We will conquer this wilderness. It will not consume us.
Boo! It's not safe. Bah, bah,
You've cursed this family.
bah, bah.
Let us leave the report.
Alright guys, thank you for bearing with me on 4 movie reviews jam-packed into one video. I know I could have gone into a little more detail on some of these things, but I thank you a lot for your support for watching, and I hope to see you guys again soon. I'm Jaren, and this is your review on Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, Deadpool, Pretty in Pink, the 30th anniversary, and The Witch.